Tool is an American rock band from Los Angeles. Formed in 1990, the group's lineup includes vocalist Maynard James Keenan, guitarist Adam Jones and drummer Danny Carey. Justin Chancellor has been the band's bassist since 1995, replacing its original bassist Paul D'Amour. Tool has won 4 Grammy Awards, performed worldwide tours and produced albums topping the charts in several countries. During the 1980s, each of the future members of Tool moved to Los Angeles. Both Paul D'Amour and Adam Jones wanted to enter the film industry, while Maynard James Keenan, who had studied visual arts in Michigan, worked as a pet store remodeler. Danny Carey and Keenan performed for Green Jellÿ, and Carey played with Carole King and Pigmy Love Circus. Keenan and Jones met through a mutual friend in 1989. After Keenan played for Jones a tape recording of his previous band project, Jones was so impressed by his voice that he eventually talked his friend into forming a new band. They started jamming together while searching for a drummer and a bass player. Carey happened to live above Keenan and was introduced to Jones by Tom Morello, an old high school friend of Jones and former member of Electric Sheep. Carey began playing in their sessions because he felt kinda sorry for them, as other invited musicians were not showing up. Tool's lineup was completed when a friend of Jones introduced the members to bassist D'Amour. Early on, the band fabricated the story that it formed because of the pseudophilosophy lachrymology. After almost 2 years of practicing and performing locally in the Los Angeles area, the band was approached by record companies and eventually signed a record deal with Zoo Entertainment. In March 1992, Zoo released the band's first effort, Opiate. Described by the band as slam and bang heavy music and the hardest-sounding 6 songs they had written to that point, the EP included the singles Hush and Opiate. The following year, at a time when alternative rock and grunge were at their height, Tool released their first full-length album, Undertow, in 1993. It expressed more diverse dynamics than Opiate and included songs the band had chosen not to publish on their previous release, when they had opted for a heavier sound. The band began touring again as planned, with an exception in May 1993. Tool was scheduled to play at the Garden Pavilion in Hollywood, but learned at the last minute that the venue belonged to the Church of Scientology, which was perceived as a clash with the band's ethics about how a person should not follow a belief system that constricts their development as a human being. Keenan spent most of the show baaing like a sheep at the audience. Tool later played several concerts during the Lollapalooza Festival tour, and was moved from the second stage to the main stage by the group's manager and the festival co-founder Ted Gardner. At the last concert of Lollapalooza in Tool's hometown Los Angeles, comedian Bill Hicks introduced the band. Become a friend of the band members and an influence on them after being mentioned in Undertow's liner notes, he jokingly asked the audience of 10,000 people to stand still and help him look for a lost contact lens. The boost in popularity gained from these concerts helped Undertow to be certified gold by the RIAA in September 1993 and to achieve platinum status in 1995, despite being sold with censored album artwork by distributors such as Walmart. The single Sober became a hit single by March 1994 and won the band Billboard's Best Video by a New Artist Award for the accompanying stop-motion music video. In September 1995, the band began writing and recording its second studio album. At that time, Tool experienced its only lineup change to date, with bassist D'Amour leaving the band amicably to pursue other projects. According to Carey, D'Amour left the band because he wanted to play guitar rather than bass. Justin Chancellor, a member of former tourmate band Peach, eventually replaced D'Amour during the recording of the album, having been chosen over competitors such as Kyuss's Scott Reeder, Filter's Frank Cavanaugh, Pigmy Love Circus's E. Shepard Stevenson, Jane's Addiction's Eric Avery and ZAUM's Marco Fox. On September 1996, Tool released its second full-length album, Anima. The band enlisted the help of producer David Bottrell, who had produced some of King Crimson's albums, while Jones collaborated with Cam DeLeon to create Anima's Grammy-nominated artwork. The album was dedicated to stand-up comedian Bill Hicks, who died 2.5 years earlier. The band intended to raise awareness about Hicks's material and ideas, because they felt that Tool and Hicks were resonating similar concepts. In particular, Anyma's final track Third Eye is preceded by a clip of Hicks' performances, and the lenticular casing of the Anyma album packaging as well as the chorus of the title track Anyma make reference to a sketch from Hicks's Arizona Bay, in which he contemplates the idea of Los Angeles falling into the Pacific Ocean. In short, in January 2001 Tool announced a new album Sistema Encephale, along with a 12-song track list containing titles such as River Christ, Numbereft, Encephatalis, Music and Celiacus. File-sharing networks such as Napster were flooded with bogus files bearing the titles' names. A month later the band revealed that the new album was actually titled Lateralis. The name Sistema Encephale and the track list had been a ruse. Lateralis and the corresponding tours would take Tool a step further toward art rock and progressive rock territory. Rolling Stone wrote in an attempt to summarize the album that drums, bass and guitars move in jarring cycles of hyperhowl and near-silent death march. The prolonged running times of most of Lateralis' 13 tracks are misleading. The entire album rolls and stomps with Sweet-like purpose. Joshua Klein of the AV Club expressed his opinion that Lateralis, with its 79 minutes and relatively complex and long songs, topped by the 10.5-minute music video for Parabola, posed a challenge to fans and music programming alike. 15 years into the band's career, Tool had acquired what Dan Epstein of Revolver described as a devoted cult following, and as details about the band's next album emerged, such as the influence of Lateralis Tormates Fantomas and Meshuggah, controversy surrounding the new Tool album surfaced with speculation over song titles and pre-release rumors of leaked songs. Speculation over possible album titles was dismissed with a news item on the official Tool website, announcing that the new album's name was 10,000 Days. Nevertheless, speculation continued with allegations that 10,000 Days was merely a decoy album to fool audiences. The rumor was proven false when a leaked copy of the album was distributed via file-sharing networks a week prior to its official release. Prior to the release of 10,000 Days, a tour kicked off at Coachella on April 30th. The touring schedule was similar to the Lateralis tour of 2001. Supporting acts were Isis and Mastodon. During a short break early the next year, after touring Australia and New Zealand, drummer Carey suffered a biceps tear during a skirmish with his girlfriend's dog, casting uncertainty on the band's upcoming concerts in North America. Carey underwent surgery on February 21 and several performances had to be postponed. Tool Winter Tour played dates across the US and Canada in January and February 2012. The band played at Ozfest Japan on May 2013. On July 2014, Carey and Jones informed Rolling Stone that family commitments and an ongoing lawsuit are the key reasons for the delayed fifth album. Carey said to the music publication that one untitled track is pretty much done. In March 2015, Jones revealed that the lawsuit had been settled in the band's favor, and as such the band was turning their focus towards recording the album. He said that he hoped the album would be finished before the end of 2015 but emphasized that the band would not rush their work to meet an arbitrary deadline. In January 2016, Tool undertook a tour of the United States. In June 2020, the band announced that it will cancel its upcoming 2020 North American tour entirely, after initially postponing a handful of dates due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The following August, Carey noted that the band had entered a hiatus, but that he still hoped they would reconvene in the future to record an EP, which the band would have more freedom in releasing due to no longer being signed to a record label. On October 2020, an instrumental song titled The Witness was released featuring Jones, Chancellor and Carey, and featuring production from Baresi, though the song was credited to Jones, not the band itself.